The road to heaven is paved with gold, and it just so happens that a set of 5 frogs are walking their way there alongside us. Question is, are they going to make it to the pearly gates, or are the angels going to smite them down on that holy staircase? Sparky, we've got Pepe Gang going up against Divine Ascension to see who can cross the gates to get to the grand finals of the first ever Excellency Valorant Phantom Series.
Yeah, this should be a good one. We are in our semifinals so far here, Anton, and we
Mhm.
don't know who the other team is going to be after we actually play out this semifinals. It is going to be DA versus Pepe Gang, and Lotus and Team Sheesh are going to be playing their games later today. So we are going to know who the first team will be making it towards finals. And so far, DA Valorant has been currently undefeated in the Phantom League series. They have been on an absolute non-stop train that is just taking them to finals. But let's see if Pepe Gang can do this. They're 2-3 so far. They haven't necessarily had the best series in groups in and of itself, but they've been looking better so far. And with actually a sub in for DA Valorant, maybe that's exactly what they need in order to capitalize on in order to get the wins into finals.
That's definitely a thing that helps, right? You can't count out that factor that they don't have one of the players that have been practicing with them, that have been rehearsing all their strats and tactics with them in the server. But the thing is, with that fact in consideration, he actually the person that's being subbed out right now hasn't actually played on this roster for quite a while, for quite a few play days. If I'm correct, last time we casted this, I think it was me and Necrox that had this on the mainstream. I think yeah, I think he changed his name, thank goodness. But right now we've got Toucan subbing in for, if I'm correct, Curie. So Toucan has been playing on Divine Ascension for quite a while on the streams. So maybe it is the fact that Curie just hasn't been active, not only in the games but also in practice. Who knows? Because again, like you mentioned, Divine Ascension, they're still flawless. Like it hasn't mattered so far that Toucan has been the sub. It's still the fact that they just cannot be beat in the series. So very well done. We'll see what Pepe King can do. I mean, this team is obviously very, very talented as well. We got Viper only, Najula, Oatmeal, Taps, and Nadatha on the team. Pepe Gang, Divine Ascension hosting Teddy is like one of the best jet players in the series. Vibes, Remill, Ad, and Toucan in this instance, of course, subbing in for Curie, who has not been available, so has some personal issues and stuff like that. So we wish him the best. But again, right now he's not playing. So two rosters, very, very. I mean, both of them very strong. I think Pepe Gang last time even. I think we see the. I think we saw them play against Lotus on stream. If I'm correct, Pepe Gang won. Some. I was thinking. I was thinking the other way. I was rooting for Lotus a tiny bit. I've got some friends on that team, but Pepe Gang. I mean, they prove themselves strong, right? They prove themselves that they can do some stuff, but they're gonna have to go through the probably the biggest hurdle that any team in the series has had so far. That's a beating Divine Ascension, because like we both mentioned, that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, should be extremely interesting. If you didn't catch the picks and bans at the bottom, it will be our first map is going to be Ascent. Then we're going to head to Icebox, then Bind, then Split, and then Haven will be the decider map. It is a best of 5 series, so there's a lot of Valorant to be played. There's, those room for mistakes early on to the series if you can just make it up later after that. But Divine Ascension, being the first seed, will get their first map pick on Ascent. It is one of those more straightforward maps. I expect to see that Jet Op come out a lot because it can just have so much impact, especially in the early stages of each of the rounds.
Yeah, definitely. I think Teddy's gonna be pulling out the stuff that usually Andrew does when we see Team Sheesh play. He's gonna be in that A main, in that B main, just pushing right in. If he's going to take that A, he's gonna be up in heaven by the 15-second mark or something like that. But we're gonna see that aggression come out from ideally both the Jets and both these teams, because it's the fact that when you're going up against a team like DA, you need someone to answer back the power that Teddy has, answer back the power that Remil has on that arena, and you need someone to be able to just headbutt them and take them out in a one-on-one duel, or else it is the fact that you're just going to get run over if you play a team like this.
Yeah, exactly. In terms of agent picks, it's kind of pretty good that they chose a set first for DA because, Viper only kind of lives up to his name. He plays a lot of Viper, and it's one of those agent picks that's not the best on Ascent. You see it occasionally, but most teams like to either run that Astra, run that Omen, something that can be a little bit more flexible in their smokes rather than kind of having that really static wall that can go up and down, but it can't really be moved.
Mhm. And of course, like you mentioned as well, Viper only. This specific player, it's kind of ridiculous to have a player like this on the team. Respect to him, because Viper, I would be interested to see if he had played Viper before all the ridiculous buffs, like the damage buff on the smoke and all that stuff. I'd be interested to see that if he played Viper from the OG days when the Europeans used to play him or used to play her, because it is an agent that's not entirely flexible nowadays. Because okay, Pepe Gang second map they pick Icebox. That makes sense. Third map they pick they fourth map, excuse me, they pick Split. But DA, they actually opt to pick the bind for their second map pick, so that's going to be smack dab in the middle. Potentially the last map in the series if DA managed to sweep this. But Haven is left to be the last. I remember the last time Pepe Gang played Haven, they did not look so good, and it was the fact that I mean Viper only can't play Viper on Haven. It's just you pick her and what do you do? There's three sites and it's so hard to actually set up those choke points as Viper and those wall. Where are you putting the wall? Like you just have to put it across B every single round, right? But yeah, so he just doesn't play Viper. He plays a Brimstone on that map if I'm correct. So it's curious how Divine Ascension left that for last. Maybe stuff on bind there yet to show, or they're just more confident on that map, which I wouldn't be entirely surprised as well. I'm not really doubting Divine Ascension on any of the maps right now. I would think that they would want to pick into their opponent's weaknesses, but whatever the case, yeah, Taven will be the last map if so needed. But I think based on most of the predictions here, by I would say quite a few talent as well as some of the viewers, this one might be quite one-sided. People are definitely looking at Divine Ascension to take this pretty handedly. We had some format predictions, so likely I would think Pepe Gang pick up Icebox if anything, but it's gonna be difficult for them to get all the way over the finish line, I think.
Yeah, and I think the map picks especially kind of lend to that. I wouldn't count Pepe Gang out just yet. You know, they could pick up a couple maps for themselves, and if they have the momentum, maybe it could end up turning into their favor. But you know, Divine Ascension, they've gone 5-0 in groups. They've just had such a dominant performance. I think each of the maps, if I remember correctly, they weren't even particularly close. It really felt like they were just dominating the series overall. The thing about playoffs, though, Anton, it doesn't matter how well you did in group stages. If you lose here, you are completely out. You are not going on to grand finals, and that's the end of the run. That's you only get first seed. You don't get anything more.
And I mean, sometimes in some tournaments you have double elim, right? We don't have that here because we have best of fives. Every single playoff game is a best of five, so it's not like you don't have a chance to prove yourself, right? Usually, when you go into that lower bracket, it's like, all right, we lost a couple maps, we had a bad day, but not this time. You could have a bad day, but you don't have a bad day three maps in a row. You know that just hopefully it doesn't happen. But whatever the case, we're gonna go right into this map of Ascents. We've got Pepe Gang versus Divine Ascension for map number one. And this is going to be quite an interesting one. I mean, any predictions for agent selects? I would expect Teddy is going to be on that jet. That's my first guess.
It looks like everyone is matching them there. The jet hovers. You know, maybe they
Jeez.
end up just playing the roulette, just saying, hey, let's just see what happens. But I really doubt they're just trolling in the very beginning. Nadalta's going to be matching on that jet. A good player can get those frags early and can probably match Teddy, who finally decided to lock in that jet, steal her away from every single one of her teammates. And it looks like Taps is going to go with the Omen. Viper only is hovering this Viper. So we talked about how Viper isn't the best on Ascent. It has been played a couple times. The post plant utility can be good, but the thing about that wall is it can only really get you mid control, and then it's kind of the Omens area after that. You can only play that Viper really for post plant. The smoke doesn't do a whole lot. The ultimate can be good in blocking off some areas of the map, but with how open Ascent is, you really just have another way to get onto the side. It's not like you're really locking down an entrance into any of the sites either. And it looks like DA Valorant, they're going to go for something I would say is a little bit more meta. The Astron vibes, the Jet and the Reyna both on both teams, but actually a last minute. Oh, they're playing with me, man. They don't want to lock it in now. Looks like they're gonna go for that single duelist, put remilitarization onto that Reyna, put Jet onto Teddy. So they do have the double duelist, but instead they're gonna opt for that Killjoy rather than the double smoker. Killjoy is probably one of the strongest picks on Ascent. I'm a little scared for Pepe Gang for not picking it. That lockdown can just clear out so much space. And with a Killjoy on defense, when DA Valorant does end up going to that defensive side, it can pretty much lock down A or B site pretty easily.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's it's probably the reason why they brought the Viper instead of the Killjoy, right? Because you're playing her kind of like a Sentinel. I do respect the fact that they are running double controller. I know a couple teams like to do this. I know Hiko has mentioned a couple of times in his not really formal interviews, but when he's just on stream with some of his friends, how he likes double controller with the Viper, because it's like with the Viper alone, you can't really do much. You have to use your smokes to this very angle, and you don't have any flexibility. But with an Omen, you kind of gain that flexibility. But like you mentioned, without the Killjoy, it can get kind of difficult. Like, I gotta admit, I agree with you. I'm kind of afraid for Pepe Gang. We'll see what they can do in the defense. The Viper's holding down that A. Almost solo. We've got the Jet out here in mid. Doth is looking on to nothing, because every single player right now from Divine Ascension is outside this A main. They see the one way, and at least they're a tiny bit scared, but I mean, it's not like a Killjoy turret. It's not going to delay forever.
The thing with that one way too is I think it's a little high. It's not a perfect one way. You can still kind of see heaven from there, I believe. So it just gives you a little bit better on the timing. That's going to force Pepe Gang to go back, but they're really just trying to bait it. The problem is DA Valorant kind of read into this. They're just heading all the way back. Or actually, I got the teams mixed up. But either way, it's a full stack on both sides from the A site.
Shots fired. Heaven spotted. Viper only is taking some shots, but in fact, it's Taps to take the first, and up into Heaven he already goes. I mentioned before, Teddy is gonna find him up there. The fact it's 15 seconds, but there are 2 trades back. 3 versus 3, and health advantage for Divine Ascension, actually. So many attackers on max HP in the defense is not looking too good on their health. It's another trade back, and no heal from the Reyna. A dash out from the Jet to try and stay alive, and shots still are not landing. They need to win these gunfights right now, and it's gonna finally happen onto Toucan, down in the hell position, but Remo gets a heal off, and another 1 versus 1 for Nadatha. 30 seconds to work with. This Dink, big double headshot. Triple kill for this Jet to win out the first pistol.
Yeah, definitely got very close towards the end. Nadatha with a good double headshot to really close that one out. But the aggression from Divine Ascension, they go all the way into heaven. They get traded just a little bit. These taps were just spicy towards the end. A lot of ghosts actually being bought up, which I feel like you don't see a whole lot of. Nadatha hopefully isn't DC'd while looking into that wall, but it's going to be a buy round for the side of Pepe Gang, and actually not even a buy. They're looking to kind of save into this. They only have some Spectres and some light armors. They want to play for the econ.
Oh, I mean, they're reading really well in the DA. I don't know if they've watched some of their VODs, but yeah, DA, they're not buying. They don't like to buy when they lose that first pistol. They have a 1 ghost on Toucan, and we have a Reyna here. Oh, I mean, right-click potential. It exists, right? It's a powerful weapon, even at $0. So there's a weapon recovered, in fact, and dashing right in. Teddy's got another chance. Over here, a Dink already on a Viper only. That's 2 free kills. That, like, and by free, I mean free. They spent no dollars on those 2 guns that have gotten the frags. They've gotten 2 guns out of that, and more frags in turn. What is this? He's up in heaven, the dash out, and he still lives. 1 versus 5 all of a sudden, and no guns is gonna bite them in the butt, and Divine Ascension take that second round. The anti-eco is amazing from the attack.
Yeah, and I think that really shows as to why every single person in high elo Valorant says when to win that pistol round, you just gotta buy up. Don't try and play for the econ game, because once that first gun goes down, you're pretty much on the back foot, especially when it goes to a Reyna who can heal to that 150 HP. Even though, you know, Remonetization didn't even have the best, you know, play there. It was really just Teddy with a classic going all the way in and getting the ult clicks. Either way, it goes to that 1-1 score line, and it's actually going to be a buy here from Pepe Gang. They're still going to buy into these rifles. There's aggression towards B main, and the gunfire for DA isn't looking too hot, but they have the aggression on their side.
That's already a Dink as well. It's so much damage. Teddy goes down. There's another, actually, Oatmeal steals the kill, but Najula does the damage anyways. Thank goodness for the Reyna buff that happened a couple months back. He's able to get out alive. Low HP, there's no heal. So at least Pepe Gang is kind of lit up, but it doesn't even matter. They're going and pushing. Viper only's taking that initiative, and it's great by them to take it back, and they should end up winning the round, but it's still a bit of a question. Maybe some shots landing from Wibes could change this scenario, and in fact, 1 kill. Health low, and the machine gun though, hold on a second. Shock darts there to save the day. 1 versus 2 though, so there's still a chance. Spike in hands for the Killjoy. Ad's gonna go all the way back towards this B, and no one from Pepe King is looking. They're gonna let this guy go.
Yeah, heading over towards that A. The spike will go down here. Alarm bot placed towards the tree room. So he's going to know, Ad's going to know where these people are coming from. Baiting the plant. It's going to give him some good timing on this push. And actually, Viper only through the wall. No, he gets the shot on the Phantom. The whiff from Ad. But really, for Pepe gang there, they're able to keep 2 of their guns, but they lost 3. That was their buy round. Their economy's not looking too hot here. And that was only the bonus there from DA. They're going to be able to buy up to this next round. They have their rifles. Teddy's going for that early operator, bought up by remilitarization. And now mid is so scary to peek here if you're Pepe gang. You don't necessarily have the gunfire to even challenge this operator, and with Teddy on it as well, I don't think you'd even want to.
There are 4 rifles. Now, he bought that up a bit late, so they're probably talking about a couple of things that they would have to do. And yeah, well, that op shot chimes out. He just wants to go for a wall bang, so now they understand that it is in play.
Ooh. Timing is everything. If Toucan can find this kill, it opens up the B site, but he's not going to go for it. Rather, go back towards that mid where remilitarization has the space created.
They're giving nothing away until that peak. I don't think anyone from Pepe gang saw anything. That's a 1 versus 1 taken on that cap position. Labs there's to support. Remil is going to be the one to have to take the aim duel. He's going to win that out against the opposing jet and straight through. I mean, they're going, the lockdown's in place, and the Viper has to at least evacuate or back up into that corner. Molly goes out to prevent the entrance from A main, but he's getting shot straight through that smoke. I don't think he's safe here. I think you have to get out a bit more, but it doesn't matter. The bullets are going to land on him anyways, and Teddy is so fast parrying an arrow, and he still gets knifed in the face. It's a 2 versus 5. I mean, are they going to go for it? It doesn't even make sense at this point. There's 1 kill from Najula, no heal to be had, and the Knives want to find their final target, and Teddy's got the second. 2 rounds now for both teams, but Divine Ascension, I mean, the ones that are winning look dominant.
And Teddy on that operator, right? He creates so much pressure towards mid. No one from Pepe gang wants to peek it. That allows for the rest of DA to just make their way up, get the space without any util really expended, and then explode onto that A site where a Viper just can't really hold off against it, right? There's no killjoy. The mollies don't do necessarily enough damage. The wall isn't going to block off those sight lines nearly enough, and it's going to force Pepe gang back towards that save. Some pistols in hands, and they need to get some econ damage done here in order to do something to this other team.
Oh my god, it's crisp. Libes. He's not missing. Sheriff picked up, but the Sentinels of Light really going to bless you this time. And apparently they are. Nadalta gets a 1 kill. The player that was so crisp before. Op shot missed. There is support from Ad, though. What? No! No! Wow.
Okay. All right, well, Nadalta 1 versus 3 gonna peek into this. Actually gets the shot. 1 versus 2 potentials there. He has the gun in his hands, 65 HP and the knives with the dash available. I want to see some anime action here, Anton.
We'll see. Teddy's got the op. It's gonna be quite it. Okay. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but looking down this very, very narrow sight. Ooh, if he keeps that very narrow angle, no, he's gonna get aggressive. It's just smart. He hears him jumping. There was a chance. I will not disagree with you there.
Yeah, you know, a couple question marks there from Pepe gang, especially that Hunter's Fury just basically popped and then taken away. I think he was trying to bait the enemy team into just like wide swinging him, but that's a big cost of an ultimate to try and, you know, just do that on a bait on a pistol round. Either way, they get 3 kills, they do some econ damage, and they're gonna go into this next round with their rifles. Nadalta on the operator here now, peeking out towards this mid. It is really the operator's playground here now. The real question is who peeks first.
Oh, the smoke goes down, but Teddy peeks before it blooms. And another one on a cat. Remo's walking up, and Nadalta wants to go forward and get so many frags. Another really great on the top cat. And Wives is in this smoke. I think he's been spotted. The knives missed, but Najula's got that frag. He's being pinched outside that B main, and Ad is very, very quickly last alive on the server for Divine Ascension. It's 20 seconds, and 4 kills had by Nadalta and his teammate on the Reyna combined. I mean, a 1 versus 5. He's got plenty of time to work with, and Spike in hands. The turret's here, so at least it spots something, but it doesn't matter. Nadatha just took that round in his own hands by storm and said, I'm going to win this time.
Hey, Teddy, anything you can do, I can do better. The first pick onto the Opper, then just go out, get the second pick onto Catwalk, knives out, just run over the entire team. Why don't you? Gets a 4K, almost a 5K in the end. And now, Anton, a double operator setup for Pepe Gang. This, I would say, is a little bit more questionable. Hey, if you can get those early picks, fine. But if the sheer aggression comes out from DA, they get onto this A site, those two ops are going to have a hard time retaking onto the site.
Worst part is they're not even looking at the right direction. We've got an off-city situation in Cat. I think he's heard all the noise happening inside this A main. They're going to molly it again, just like last time. Deja vu, except this time Viper only is in the heaven position. Wall's going to go out for that heaven as well. But Nadatha, he lands a great shot onto Teddy. That's an amazing and important one, but he does get detained. Not enough time to get out, so he's not going to be active for the time being. Wall goes out to prevent anyone from going for that wall bang, which is very, very smart. That guarantees a plant. Molly even on the spike position. So many people blind though, but the defense, Pepe Gang, they don't take advantage of it. Viper only, you can't exactly shoot through that. Azula's got a kill, but Remail is not going to get checked here. He's going to stay in the same position. Very wise, but Nadatha, that's an amazing no-scope. Toucan has to try and recover. 2 versus 2, still up shot. Barely misses, straight through the wall. Hits him in the shoulder, and a 1 versus 2 again for the second operator in the round. I don't know if they expect it, but it's certainly not beneficial of Oatmeal to have this weapon. He does hit the shot, tries to exchange, but he gets another off of that, and it's so little time left. He needs to hit this shot immediately, and Wibes is sucking him off the spike. There's nothing he can do to win the round. Doesn't have enough time. It's a fourth round for Divine Ascension.
I wonder if those were a little bit breakdowns in comms, right? There were two people who were on low health bars towards the end. A pistol account should have came out and just kind of right-clicked all of them. This is such an interesting position from remilitarization. Just finding the little place that no one would check and then putting the knife in the back of Pepe Gang. They lose 2 operators there, Anton. They still have their economy to buy up into this next round. I wonder if Nadatha goes for this op. Yes, he does. He's going to still be on that sniper rifle. This time looking still towards mid, but DA, they realize there's operators in play and just want to throw bodies at it. Throw bodies at the B site. Just get the control early because they know this operator is so much harder to use in a post-plant scenario.
Oh my god, I mean, that's the information given. There's 3 people there, but Sova, I don't know if that's the best situation for you to be in either, because he's going to get wall banged. Great dart. No Mew gets caught in his own drone. It's a site instantly taken. There's no defense still here. 2 players in that B main hiding behind that Viper wall, so it might be a bit awkward for them to get back in, because the defense wants to make their way through as well, and a kill has already been had on a Toucan. On Delogs, goes into Jula, but he gets taken out by Teddy. Great angle, but the alarm bot's already been shot as well. Viper only's trying to get a spray onto the site. It's so awkward because the Viper can't, it's taking a 1v1 against the players. Dylan straight through the wall, takes out Tops as well, and it's in the air. Nadatha finally misses a shot. That's not something you see very often, but I don't think he's gonna go for this peak. Surely not, right? 1 bullet left of HP on Nadatha, and straight through Ad, even in the sky, gets taken out. 1v1 now. It's both Jets, and one of them is at very, very low HP. It's Teddy to secure the 4K, and a 5th round for DA.
DA just taking advantage of the sheer aggression they can provide, get the Sova on the site, and they just play the post plant beautifully. Nadatha almost actually clutched that out, but they just play the time well on DA. They recover the operator as well, which will go into the hands of Teddy, and now Teddy has to become the Nadatha for his team. He's already on 11-4, so he's having, a pretty good impact. You haven't seen those pop-off kills necessarily just yet. Nadatha and Negel are both on these judges, one towards B, one towards A. The multi-frag potential is there, but they're both kind of isolated from their teams. They're just setting themselves on an island and hoping they can get kills.
Not a round to do it on, too. This is the one round where no one actually goes towards this main position, and they're actually watching it, in fact. Nadatha, he should not get a kill here. He should not. He doesn't. That's a lot of damage, about 100 onto the Astra on Team DA, but still, the entries are had, and it's just fine. Right onto A. There's a flash into Jula's hand. It's going to go right through, but Ad's going to know exactly where he is off of that. Gives away the information, and that's, yet again, site taken for virtually free, maybe a bit of health, but even a ping onto the heaven position. Oatmeal, don't want to get too brazen.
Last three towards this tree room. They only have pistols in hand, and Vibes on that flank is going to take out Viper only. The trade is there from Taps, but with 2 people left in this post plant, it's going to be so hard for them to come back into the site.
That's a good shot. The second one not going to land. In fact, Teddy is going to retaliate straight through the wall, and already the Divine Ascension guarantee at least the tied half.
Yeah, exactly. The operator coming up big for Teddy, and it feels like, Pepe Gang, they had some steam in their engine in the beginning, but it's breaking down just a little bit. You can't isolate your players like that, especially on, that eco round. You don't have the gunpowder, just throw bodies at it at that point. Use someone to back up that judge, maybe bait it a little bit better, but they're going to go into this next round with their rifles in hand. No operator there for Pepe Gang as they don't have the economy set up just yet. Viper Spit is available for a post plant if they can get the Viper back onto the site, but everyone's heading towards this B site so far, and remilitarization could get a lot in mid as well.
It's hiding behind that fridge, and there's a couple people paying attention, kind of looking towards that space. And Tops, though, he doesn't really have the angle. Might be aware, but he's getting angled. In fact, the shoulder spotted, flash going through. He's gonna shoot it out, but a second one, and this crosshair displacement is enough for Remil to get that kill. Viper only, that procs that Viper's pit to go out into that mid. That's not something you see very often either. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen that Viper's pit in mid. But Remil, he's just walking straight through. He doesn't care. He is not afraid. Goes down, and that's a trade back onto the Reyna from the doppelganger on the other side, but a dart even to secure Teddy's position? Nope, not quite. He does have to drop off. In fact, drop off every single one of the attack. I mean, surely towards this B they're going to go. The Toucan has managed to infiltrate this A site. Bird might be getting some information behind, but Nadatha is still on the back of the site, and he's able to get 2 beautiful right clicks. 2 players on DA fall instantly, and all of a sudden it's a 2 versus 2 man count evened up. Najula, well, I mean, both the teammates are still here. The spike has been dropped on the site, and this lurk is going to prove just absolutely nothing. I mean, unless they can get the kills now, but they have 15 seconds to work with, and they have to go. Both these defenders still on this dirt, and even the other knives being popped now. Nadatha, though, he knows exactly what this Jet has up his sleeves, the shenanigans that his doppelganger has, and it's 4th round for Pepe Gang.
Yeah, after the absolute clown fiesta on mid, it was all up to Nadatha in order to secure this B site, make sure that plant doesn't go down. Is exactly what happens. He pulls out the knives, gets to 2K, drops the spike, and after that, just protect the spike. You go too slow on the side of DA Valorant, gets them to 4 rounds for the side of Pepe Gang. 2 rounds left in this half. Operator back into Nadatha's hands. This is the player that needs to come up big. Probably he's not peaking very aggressive. He's still playing onto the site itself, and everyone from DA Valorant is heading towards this A site. Viper only has struggled quite a bit to try and hold this, but maybe with his teammate there, maybe they can hold it a little bit easier.
Oh, the thing is, the dart's gonna drive Najula off, and the pings, though, are not good enough. At least Toucan doesn't get the kill, but it does zone a lot of different space. And Remil flashing right in again. He's the entry for the team. He wants to get all the way deep inside, but Teddy even, what? He whiffs the dash, but it's still fine. Gets a kill. Tops is the only one to trade out, and straight into heaven. Once again he goes. Nadatha, it's too close of an angle for him to shoot. Well done by Teddy to make that entry happen, and Najula is here to maybe save the day. 1 versus 3 for this Reyna. Has an ultimate at her disposal, but peeks out, doesn't even try and pop it. Toucan takes him out. 7 rounds after DA.
Yeah, I feel like this is just, the 4th or 5th time where Viper only has struggled to hold that A site as Viper. Something like a Killjoy, I feel like would have just had so much more impact, as you can put the mollies in tree room, at least lock that one down, put the mollies towards that door switch to make sure anyone who goes to close it is just going to be a dead body. But this Viper, man, you can just walk through the mollies. It doesn't do that much damage, and with no one really peeking aggressively, you can't really punish the walk through the molly in and of itself. Last round in the half, the buy isn't looking too good for the side of Pepe Gang, and with an operator in Teddy's hands and everyone else on rifles, remilitarization can just walk up, get this pick onto Najula, and just get the A site for free again.
What? What? That... Okay. Call it like it is, I guess. Hold on a second, though. Nadatha up in mid. He has dropped the spike, and Oatmeal's got another trade on a site. And like you said again, Remil is the one to entry onto that A, but the thing is, what more can he do if this spike is not under his control? That's what more he can do. He get another headshot onto Oatmeal. Pops does trade back out, and Nadatha with a second, but it's again a 1 versus 1 between the two Jets. And again, Nadatha is the one at lower HP with the operator though, so it doesn't matter. One bullet from either weapon will kill both players, but Teddy though, this time, he doesn't know where this other Jet's coming from, but he does have an inkling. He has some suspicions that this other one is coming through this tree, but up into heaven breaks the, I mean, he has to make some sound at least, so the speed has to be of the essence, and Teddy doesn't read this just yet. No, all of a sudden, yeah, this is it. I mean, there's no way Teddy loses this round. He's rapping all of a sudden, and it's just, no, the time is being played so well. He's leaving. Teddy is leaving the spike site completely. He's just won. There's no... Well, nice try by Nadatha. Gotta admit, turned that DPI up, but that's not enough. Teddy can hit that shot any day of the week. And 8-4, Divine Ascension looks so beautiful on the map of Ascent.
Yeah, I was gonna say that Teddy actually might have greeted for that plant spot just a little bit, but it works out well for him. It's the most open plant spot on A, as you can peek it from A main, you can peek it from heaven, you can peek it from tree room. It's probably the best plant positioning. The problem is getting it down, and he does that beautifully. Side switch 4-8 in this game with DA leading. Now they're on the defensive half, which arguably is the stronger side of this map, especially once Teddy gets his hands on that operator. No longer does he have to peek into the angle. He is the rock holding it down, and it makes it so much easier to get that operator pick.
Definitely. It's ironic. He's looking down mid already with the classic. I mean, pretending like he is that off player, but it's just fine because everyone is, again, going towards this A. It seems to be the fruit of this Ascent map that this pistol round just goes towards A every single time. Straight through the door. The defense wants to go back in, but Teddy, now it's his time to shine with the... into heaven. He has the poltergeist in hands, but this dart is going to reveal absolutely everyone. But in the what? The shots just aren't landing. All the attack, the kill feeds is turning up red, and that's 4 kills already. The only one to trade back is the one that's already dead. Toucan has nothing more to say, and Wives is going to get taken out as well. That was kind of ridiculous, Sparky.
Yeah, Pepe gang, they just take a book out of DA's playbook, rush onto the A site, just take the aggro fights, heaven with the jumping classics, which you know have pretty good accuracy, get those picks early to just destroy the retake in its process. They'll be able to buy up, and look, Anton, they're being a little bit smarter with it. They're all going to have those Spectres bought up. They're still on those light armors, which could be the death of them. That makes it so much easier for those classics to actually one-shot you, because it only takes like a headshot and 2 body shots rather than that double headshot dink. Well, they're heading towards this mid remilitarization. Gets the dink, but he'll get out.
And that's a player that can't heal back up. It's not like it's the Rainer or anything. And Nadatha, though, he's been a very, very impactful character. In both Jets, they dash out at the same time, but Ad takes out one of the teammates, so the low HP is still in effect. Ah, Toucan slow on the trigger, doesn't manage to get the kill on Ajula, but Tap's not really checking the corner. Does get a trade, leaves the player last alive. Ad has to rotate all the way back in with just a classic, but she's picked up a Spectre on the way, so he has recovered at least something. Maybe they're able to do some economy damage if nothing else, but Oatmeal's gonna be looking for this. Not exactly a recon, so the information is not guaranteed that this man is coming from this A, or excuse me, this B main. And the angle, timing good for the Sova, peeking on along, and it's so perfect. Hold on, Nadatha. That run and gun manages to clean it up, but it did end up getting slightly closer.
I feel like Pepe gang are just being a little bit too greedy in these eco rounds. Typically, you want to get every single gun you can into that bonus so that you can secure your econ. They drop 3 of them, though, and that's going to hurt them, even though they bought up towards those light armors. They're still going to keep those Spectres in hand, those light armors in hand. Viper only is going to play towards that Sheriff Bird. They're against rifles now, Anton. That's a lot more damage that they won't be able to take. Heading over towards the sand. Remilitarization has a gun now.
Oh, he has a gun and he can get out alive. He takes out the opposing arena again. It's happened one more time, and he makes it sound like it's going back in the tree, but he actually drops back. It looks like the Sova on the attack understands, and Nadatha has that call out, manages to take him out from the back site, and picks up that rifle. in the opponent's hand as well. Another dart. The Sova wants to go for some fights. He's stuck in the corner. There's nowhere for this guy to move. Viper only needs to go for some assists, but the shots still are not landing. This drone going out to try and gain some information. Heaven players pressuring up in the site as well, but Tops is the one to get the kill. Just fine for the time being. Wibes with another trade. Nadatha right on back onto Ad. And Wibes and his teammate of Teddy, 2 versus 3 now. Need to go for this retake. Rifles in hand for both of them against the only one on Nadatha. But Nadatha, he already gets taken out. Very quick headshot. And a second one. Great follow-up from Wibes and Teddy all the way long range. Viper only can't do anything with that weapon all the way inside of A main. And Divine Ascension stopped the bleeding and they managed to win the swing round.
They'll be able to keep 2 of their guns. Not exactly what you want against this bonus round, but you'll be able to get anything you can towards the end. Teddy here, just going aggressive, will be able to get, you know, a couple of picks. Wow, it was huge here, actually. The hole in the smoke is pretty much the death of the team there. That's the thing with Valorant. You know, those little mistakes can actually add up to those big impact rounds. 6-9 is the scoreline. A very nice one, if I do say so myself. And now Pepe gang, they're going to be able to buy up towards those rifles, and I can't say the same for DA.
There is one shorty. It's an interesting broken buy. I'm not sure why Remil has that specific gun rather than Teddy, but I mean, Teddy's gonna go down immediately. There's another gap in the smoke. Same mistake as last time. This time for the opposite team, though. It's like you said, this little tiny mistakes, that's what costs you rounds sometimes. And Najula, again, missing a shot. Oatmeal can't follow up on that, gets sprayed straight through the smoke once more, and Remil has to try and go from the back, but it looks like the Jet is reading this perfectly, looking at that wall, has the shot. It's the easiest one of his life. And even on for the ace if Toucan doesn't manage to peek one of the teammates first, but Viper only is going to have the trade on the Tops. 1 versus 2. Nadatha may be able to pick up some fourth, but Wibes, hold on a second. Nadatha jumping into the hands of the opposing Astra leaves this round in question. Finally going down, and Viper only in a 1 versus 1 with 2 mollies in hand. Jump should have been hurt. No, Wibes, he was in that Astral form, so he doesn't hear the jump. Viper only catches him off guard, and the shots land. Great stuff from this Viper, and he doesn't even care. Spends another 300 credits or something just to show up. And 7th round for Pepe gang now going to the second half.
That was an interesting wall. I can't really, you know, see the justification behind it. It just allows for the enemy team to actually just, you know, duck in and out of it, kind of buy time a little bit more. It really felt like it was a wall for the person who needs to defend the spike in and of itself. But man, Pepe gang, it feels like every single time they have the gun advantage, they're still just not really able to keep their guns into their hands. They do win the round for themselves, but they don't win the round for themselves, but in this end, remilitarization with this shorty. Sneak through.
No way! What?
He's alive!
He kills the Jet with the knives. That's no. You don't do that. That's not allowed. All the spray through the tracer scene, but thank goodness they walked past just in time. And still a 4 versus 3 with great health, but Ad, though we saw what he could do with this machine gun. They're both answering back. Viper's pit is procced. It needs to be popped right now, but both ultimates are now on the board for both teams. There is a Hunter's Fury maybe from Pepe gang to try and cancel, and it does end up going through, but Toucan has the counter shotgun to eliminate the Viper from her own pit. Now 1 versus 3 now. The Sova needs to try and pull off. Shotgun still in hands for Toucan. He misses the first shot. Suck goes through. Oatmeal is very low, but the bullets are not enough. He needs to back up in the corner. It's so pressured from both Sovas, but it's Toucan to win at that fight. 10 rounds for DA.
Toucan with the Bucky, the Wild West in him coming out, and he just guns down every single person. That's one of the most impacts I've ever seen with a Bucky running onto site with the most point I've ever seen. Remilitarization here, I have no idea how he gets one and lives for that long, but he does so well. That just, again, it's just so much econ damage being done up. Now it's going to be the buy here for DA. They have Teddy back onto that operator. Addis is going to stick with that Ares because that allows him to wallbang this B main wall right here. A lot of people might be peeking into them. As long as he has that Sova there to get the pings, he might be able to get a kill.
Oh no, I think the Sova missed. Well, that is definitely unlucky. The Reyna pushes up far enough, but not too far, not to get the kill. And Teddy, though, is looking behind that wall. That's a bit curious. Shots still going through, and in fact, landing a lot on the Viper. Only less than half HP. Practically only one bullet from a rifle is going to take out that player. Stuck in the corner.
Kadatha.
Ooh. Up to
Just
mid again.
outpeaking
This guy
Offer.
has been looking... He's so crispy. I mean, he can win any gunfight that he takes against any player with that sheriff, it really seems like. And he's got the op in his hands now. Look at me. I am the captain. I mean, spotting market. Toucan's going to be focused on that position. Adatha might end up catching the Sova off guard, perhaps. But no, the shot is missed. Thank goodness. Gets out alive just for the time being. And Adatha is spotted going back towards that market again. Smoke coming through to cut off Wives' line of sight, but Viper only needs to try and get out on the site and doesn't manage to do so. Loses the life, loses the spike as well. It's all of a sudden pinched onto that B. Everyone is here. There's no one that is off site. One player from Divine Ascension coming through that B main, 2 players coming through line, and all of a sudden the Hunter's Fury as well. Another shot missed from Nadatha. This is an absolute disaster, but Najula is trying to make something work. Toucan shuts him down. 13 seconds, there's no time. The stereo frags coming out from the Reyna and the Sova. Clean up the round again.
Yeah, Pepe gang just stagnate there all the way towards Switch. The call was not made. They had to push something, either push site, push CT, push B main, something. Just go somewhere, get your man advantage, get the picks, and get your spike onto the site. But the indecision cost them, as they were just gunned down from every single side, and they go down in the round, giving DA 11. That's going to be Nadatha. He's back on the operator. So is Teddy. They're going to peek into each other. Who wins this one?
Jump peek. Come on, Nadatha. He's got it. Wardell peek, and he makes it happen. Teddy misses the shot. That's been nerfed for so long. It's actually ridiculous how difficult that is to do right now. And Nadatha makes it look like it's easy peasy. Add again with the machine gun in the corner. In the bricks corner, right beside that A. He's looking at that cat. He understands where the speak is going to come from, but the question is, can he win the fight? He actually wins one, takes so much damage, does a lot onto all the players on Pepe Gang, gets 2 kills as well, and he's finally traded out. But Remil's got another refrag on Najula. Pinched inside cat. Nadatha has so much to do, and he can't have anything to say about the round. Tops needs to come back and try and recover, but it's a 1 versus 3, and if he loses this, that's map point for Divine Ascension for map number 1. And it looks like he's got his angle covered. And Remil has the incredible off angle, and Tops doesn't expect it. 12-7 now for DA.
Nadatha really hits the hard shots, but misses the easy ones. He gets the jump peek onto mid, and then he just slow walks into the Killjoy and isn't able to kill her, as he just flicked away a little bit too late. Actually ended up being, the nail in the coffin for the team. They just weren't able to deal with Ad there. That's going to end up putting them on match point for this map number 1 of our best of 5 series. Pepe Gang still isn't even on the best of buy with 3 Bulldogs in their hands, and now the Ares is upgraded towards the Odin here, Anton. No damage necessarily being done yet, but that's the mental damage. I wouldn't want to push B main if I were them.
What? There's 2. There's 2. Ad's got one as well. Ad's the one that's been using the machine gun all this time. Teddy, maybe even be a bit frazzled by that. That's a head jab. What is happening? This is the last round. What's going on? The shots miss from the knives, but it's a 1 versus 5 from Viper only. He's technically got the health to work with, but the gun is not in his favor. Ad managed to finish this off the map with the machine gun. That is a heck of a story to tell. 13-7 from map number 1, guys. Divine Ascension look very, very strong, especially in the second half, Sparky.
Yeah, Divine Ascension really just ran over it in the second half, man. Nadatha and Teddy, it really felt like the battle of 2 titans. Remilitarization is up there as well, but this Jet v Jet battle was an absolute treat to watch, with the operator play, with just the peaks and the anime battles. It was absolutely beautiful. Nadatha on 27-15, Anton, he had an absolute great game, but the team just wasn't able to pull through.
That's actually crazy. He had over 100 ACS over the next player on the server, which was Remil, and then Teddy. They're both. I mean, they're both doing their work. Both the duelists are making everything happen right now for DA. But I don't know. I don't know if we had audio going into the lobby for the post game. But I think Teddy actually literally said out loud in voice chat, in party chat, "Your Jet is insane." There's no better way to put that. Look at him, 27-15. He's almost got a 2-kill death on a losing team. 7-13. It's Divine Ascension are almost doubling Pepe Gang's rounds right now. He's got 6 entries. 6. I really wish if we could just like really quickly see, like we didn't have to go check every single round on the timeline, how many of those entries were converted into round wins. Because they've won 7 rounds. So hypothetically, if it's 100%, that's that's almost every single round that Nadatha opened up that they were able to win. I'm not entirely sure if that's a
Yeah.
stat, but just take a look at that and it's absolutely just ridiculous.
Yeah, this was DA's map pick, and we're going to head into the second map, which should be a little bit better for Pepe Gang since it is their map pick, and a little bit better for Viper. But that's going to be after a quick break. This is a best of 5. We have a lot of Valorant to play, so don't go anywhere.